Big day today. Get your cameras out. Let's start the show. Hi everyone, welcome to Pal to Tech. Today, Fujifilm released brand new firmware updates for 13 of their GFX, X series, and premium compact line of cameras. The following cameras are all receiving updates today. For the GFX line, it is the GFX 100S and 50S2. For the X series, it is the XH2S and XH2, the X Pro 3, the XT3, 4, and 5, the XS10, XT30, and XT32, the XT4, the XA3, the XA10 and 20, as well as the X100V. That's a lot. So starting with the XA10 and 20, your update fixes that manual focus adjustment issue with certain camera lenses that I've talked about before in prior firmware update videos. I will leave a link in the description down below this video where you can read more about it. For all of the rest of today's cameras, today's firmware update will enable your camera to use the new Fujifilm X app. That's right, in case you haven't heard, Fujifilm has just released a brand new camera app, and believe me, I will have plenty more to say about that. In the meantime, however, your camera will not be able to use the app at all unless you get today's firmware update, so keep that in mind. Also, as part of today's update, Fujifilm has changed a few items in the camera's setup menu, and these were all modified so that the camera can better control the app. For example, Bluetooth setting in the connection settings of the setup menu has now been renamed to Bluetooth smartphone setting, and they've added a new selection choice called image transfer while power off. I will leave a link in the description for this video where you can review the specific changes to those menu items. Also, for all of the cameras that I mentioned, Fujifilm once again indicates that they have fixed minor bugs. For the XH2S and XH2, the front command dial has received an important update. You can now control ISO on it. They added a front command dial 1, 2, 3 as well. I know this is going to make more than a few XH2S camera users very happy, but I wanted to save the best updates for last. And please, I am in no way, shape, or form saying that these two cameras are better or more important than the other older cameras. The reason that I think they're receiving this specific update today has to do with the fact that they run the new 5th generation X processor, meaning that they are the only ones technically capable of handling the heavy demands of the new AI algorithm used in autofocus. Today's firmware update improves the autofocus for both the XH2 and the XT5 camera. Specifically, subject detection is now further enhanced by artificial intelligence. New categories have been added for both tracking insects and drones, and dynamic tracking performance has been significantly improved. I am not reading these specs to you from some media release somewhere. I literally just got finished using a camera that has every single one of these brand new autofocus features. That camera is the XS20, and I just made a complete review video which is now available on the channel. Testing that new autofocus update had me working for literally 2 days and nights straight up with no sleep. I wasn't going to show this, but at the end, I said this. 2 straight days and I haven't slept since aircraft had propellers. This is not for the channel, okay? I am thoroughly sick of cameras, photography, gear, screens, focus modes. I can tell you that the autofocus on that camera is the best I have used on any Fujifilm camera to date. And so, if the X-T5 and the XH2 are receiving those same algorithms, that is a big deal if you use one of those cameras. I can't wait to test it out on my X-T5 camera, and of course, I'll let you know how it performs. As I said in the beginning of the video, today's update from Fujifilm was a monumental one. When you look at companies like, say, Apple, they primarily focus on one product line each year. One year, it's all about the iPhone. Then, it's the iPad next year. And then the following year, it is all about the Mac Pro, and so forth. Fujifilm did something very similar with 2 different tracks, their GFX medium format and their X series crop sensor mirrorless. But with this update, and also yesterday's release of the XS20 camera, they seem to be focusing on users that are outside of both of those hardware tracks, adding a full-featured app, and very polished app, I might say, as well as bringing the new autofocus features from the just-released XS20 to last year's camera models that can handle it. My point is that I am seeing a shift in how Fujifilm Fujifilm is approaching the overall camera user market. If you go and you check out my recent review of the XS20, pay particular attention to the video specs that Fuji included for the price point of that camera. That is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So will these autofocus updates ever be coming to an X-T3 or older cameras? I hate to say it, but I don't think so. Not because Fujifilm wouldn't want to, but because cameras like the X-T3 would need that 5th generation processor in order to handle it. I have a message now straight to Fujifilm, whom I know are probably seeing this video. There are still plenty of improvements, benefits, and extra features that you could add to many of the older cameras. Please, make it your goal so that the day never happens when, say, an X-T2 user sees a firmware update page that only ever says, minor bug fixes. Remember Kaizen, and please keep supporting that important philosophy that is part of what makes owning your cameras so special. In the meantime, I'm going to go finish updating the firmware on these cameras. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the video helpful or at least entertaining. And if you did, be sure to give it the like and subscribe. I will see you again in a new video very soon. Take care. Hold on, one thing I forgot to mention in the video, and that is if you update any of the cameras to the new firmware that has to do with the app, you will see this message when you turn on the camera. Don't worry, because once you set your time zone and then put in the correct date, the camera will take you back to your original menu where all your settings should still be available. Good luck.